It's interesting because I almost can kind of see that in my mind. It was almost like a handicap for me because I was also of that mentality that like a business is just a necessity. It's nothing glamorous. There's no horizon. There's no exit strategy. It's none of those things. It was just a necessity to put food on the table. So like, not because it was for me, but because I was just that was bred into me through my culture, So I never thought about business in terms of scaling, in terms of growth potential, in terms of partnerships, right? And all these grand terms that you and I throw around all the time. Those thoughts never entered my mind. It was just, what do I got to do to not work for someone else? That was actually my only motivation. Was just, what do I have to do to not work for somebody else?
One thing that I forgot to mention was his anything else you care to share. And there's one line hook. How my company helps HVAC businesses easily make an extra $32K per month per comfort advisor without needing to learn a new trade or do any of the heavy lifting. That's a good line right there. Peter?
I'm a marketer too, man. At my core, I'm a marketer, man.
There you go.
Always got to have catchy.
Don't lie. ChatGPT wrote that for you.
Actually, did not. That's so funny. My wife, I don't think my wife knows how to write anymore because like she uses it literally to like write a thank you card for the neighbor she doesn't even like. She uses it for everything now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it. I mean, I've used it. I've played around with it a little bit, but call me old-fashioned. I still like writing a few things. I like being a marketer,
Right. I like using it for inputs to be able to help out, right? Like if you need to write something long, you use it for the idea generation if you're stuck, where that's where you can use it. But I mean, I also got lazy. We had a buddy's 40th birthday, and we bought him 40 individual tall boys, craft beer, and we wanted to write these things about turning 40 on there. And so my wife had written a few, and so then I went to ChatGPT and I typed in a whole bunch of different prompts and copied and pasted a whole bunch over to her. She's like, why didn't you do this like a week ago? I'm like, well, it wasn't the last minute hour. So
love it.
We got a few things on the go. Well,
it all started actually with cigars. I mean, oddly enough, it was like my very first, when I graduated college, I was lost and confused. I think like most kids, right? Who graduated college, I had no idea what the hell I wanted to do. And this was back, I'm 47. I mean, how old are you guys?
38.
36.
36. All right. So you guys probably, I mean, like when you went to college, I don't know if you went to college, did you have like Instagram and like Facebook and shit? Was that really that common then or not really?
Facebook was.
Facebook?
Yeah, I think I signed up to Facebook in like 2007.
Yeah, see, that shit didn't exist. I mean, like the internet was just kind of being born, like because I was graduating college in 98. Yeah. Right. So like the internet was like just, kind of like just being born. It was mostly like emails, right? That people were doing. So needless to say, the content, the insane amount of content did not exist. Your podcast, like your show right here did not exist, right? Anyone who wants to learn HVAC nowadays, I mean, Jesus Christ, they've got a wealth of information out there, to soak it all up without ever having to step foot into a trade school. It'd almost be silly to even do that. But anyway, so long story short, I like didn't know what the hell I wanted to do. And, I graduated and I, did one stupid job after another, got fired from all of them because I was the guy, like whenever like reams of office paper would go missing and the pens would go missing, it was always this guy who was like, hoarding him in the back of his car. So I realized like I'm probably not really cut out to work for other people. I should probably start my own thing. If I'm going to steal from someone, I should probably be doing it for myself, So yeah, that's what led me to realize I'm like, I got to start my own business like here quickly. This is not going to work. My dad was, we're Russian Jewish immigrants. So like, owning a business was just like always, in the culture, and it was never any glamorous. It was nothing. It was like the opposite of glamorous. It was like, I have my own toilet cleaning business, like it was the opposite of glamorous. So it didn't say, I don't want to, dress it up to make it sound like something fancy. But nonetheless, I used to watch my dad, like, negotiate with everyone and literally everything. I used to joke that my dad would walk up to like a Coke machine and be like, I'll give you 25 cents. I swear to, like he was such old school, like with his negotiation tactics. Like it was entertaining as hell to listen to, but really embarrassing when you're a little kid following your dad around. Yep. It's like, Dad, just give him the $2. Like you don't need to negotiate the last 10 cents. It's a little, you're living the stereotype, Dad. Come on, like give it a break. It's hard enough for me to go to middle school. Like give it a break, Dad. So anyway, I came back from college, had a couple stupid jobs that I hated, got fired, I think, from all of them, realized I needed to start my own thing. No idea what I wanted to do. knew I loved cigars. And I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'll start a cigar kiosk at a mall. So I did that. Started a little kiosk in a mall, and it was great. There was nothing glamorous about it.
Oh.
You know, when you say business owner, it was not like what you think. You know, it was.
Well, it's equivalent to the truck and a truck in an aspect, right? In a sense, and relating that to the HVAC, you know, they've essentially bought themselves a job, right? They haven't ran a business. They're doing a job. And look, there's nothing wrong with this, by the way, either. You know, if this is you, and I say this all the time, if you're happy being that type of a business owner, then great, keep doing what makes you happy.
Yeah, man.
There's ways to do it and be profitable and have a good time and have a good life with it, right?
Yep.
When you start a business out of necessity, like most immigrants do, that's exactly what it is. It's out of necessity. It's not for glamour. It's not because they don't know the word scalability. Like, what is that? That's not even in their vocabulary. You know, it's just I did it because I have to put food on the fucking table.
Right. Scalability to them was have more kids.
Yeah. They didn't start a business because they were starting a business. They're starting a business because they can't get a job.
Correct.
Yep.
No one will hire them because of their language barrier. Half of these guys, my dad had a master's degree in chemical engineering. You want to know how far that got him here in the U.S.? You can imagine.
Got him owning a
There's a million stories like that of immigrants, you know, who come here with doctorate degrees and they're like, spit on it, you know, like it means nothing.
Right.
So it's out of necessity, you know.
I mean, that opens up a whole nother conversation about that. Like that we don't necessarily need to go down that rabbit hole, but you know, knowledge is knowledge, right? Should transcend.
You know, it's interesting because I almost can kind of see that in my mind. It was almost like a handicap for me because I was also of that mentality that like a business is just a necessity. It's nothing glamorous. There's no horizon. There's no exit strategy. It's none of those things. It was just a necessity to put food on the table. So like, not because it was for me, but because I was that was bred into me through my culture, you know. So I never thought about business in terms of scaling, in terms of growth. Well, you mentioned some of these names already, like you mentioned some of these rock stars in this industry, like Joe Crisera and Victor Rancourt. Like these guys were absolutely like beyond invaluable in my growth. You know, I met Victor when Victor was just kind of giving birth to his career, which fucking exploded overnight. You know, I mean, he's got to win the award for fastest exploding business ever. I mean, that guy's an absolute powerhouse. I mean, I'm in awe. Even in the multiple industries that I'm in right now, I'm still very much in awe of his accomplishments. I think he's one of the most impressive innovators and just business guys out there, period. And then Joe, with just, you know, Joe made me wrap my mind around the notion that sales is so much more than just a pitch. There's so much more to it. It's such a more multifaceted thing, which bleeds into every single aspect of your business. Like it never even occurred to me that like CSRs need their own training from Joe. Right. And I was like, and when I saw that, I was like, holy shit, they do. And my God, like it's these types of like, you know, outside the box, larger than life, large orders of magnitude thinking that really got me to like expand. I grew up with this notion. I grew up listening to my dad get yelled at by everyone in the family. Anytime we would go on a family vacation, my dad's side of the family all lives in Israel. And I remember we all decided I was really young. We all decided to take a trip to go visit the family in Israel. And it was going to be a 2-week trip because if you're going to take your family to Israel, like you're going to go for, you know, more than a week. And I just remember, like, I was a kid, I was really young, but I to this day, I remember my mom and his mom and everyone and my grandma. I remember everyone like yelling at him going, if you leave the business, like literally with the Jewish grandmother shaking finger like this, and if you leave the business for even 5 minutes, everyone's going to rob you blind. Right. And that was the mentality. It's like you are married to your fucking business. You can't leave the driver's seat for even a second or everyone will rob you blind and the whole thing will blow up in your face. And my dad was like that too. Like he didn't understand the notion of like the owner has got to actually step away from his business if it's ever going to be successful. That concept was so foreign to them. And I remember when I first started my business and I started, you know, getting really into reading a lot of business books. What's the E-Myth? Who hasn't read the E-Myth, right?
Great book.
The E-Myth, right? That's like the OG of business books, right? Like it's like all modern day good quality business books came from the E-Myth, because that's really where the notion of scaling and stepping back and handing over control and delegating, this, it all came from the E-Myth. I'm sure there's other books that came before E-Myth, but that's really, in my mind, where it was really kind of solidified. And God, I got yelled at too. Like anytime like we would take a little vacation, I'm like, Mom, my employees, they got it. Like, and I have systems in place, and there's things called security cameras and software. And she's, the the waving of the finger still never stopped. So like getting them outside of that mindset was almost impossible for the older generation. That's why you go into like Korean run liquor stores and Jewish dry cleaners, and the owner is still there at 90 years old, slaving away every day, and he'll die there.
Mm-hmm.
It's the way he's been bred.
Well, something that we said in our business all the time is done is better than perfect, right? And this is something that is reiterated time and time again with our team.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah. And hey, look, that's tough for type A's. I'm going to say that right now. That is tough for type A's to get around this done is better than perfect notion. But really, I mean, it's like you can sit there and overanalyze and over edit and over whatever to the nth degree until it's just perfect. But then you spent too much time getting it just perfect, when really those last couple tweaks that you're going to make, not going to do anything. Like I'll use us as a great example on this in the content that we put out, right? There's stuff that even a month ago I didn't like, but it was done. And I say, great, let's launch it. Next time, let's do this. Right. And then we just get it out there, because honestly, even what was done beforehand could actually have been good and pulled better than what I think is going to work as well. Right. So you never know. Just get it done, get it off your plate, move it out the door, move on to the next. And that's actually something that you look at any of the top businesses that we've had on our podcast, speed.
Well, look at every cell phone that's ever delivered, right?
Right.
It's never perfect. That's why they do updates,